Generally speaking, on tax lien certificates, most states like Florida, Arizona, and so on, it's a bid down process. Lowest bidder gets it. In South Carolina, it's a bid up process, and the highest bidder wins.
Hello and welcome. My name is Sheldon, and if you're interested in exploring investment opportunities in South Carolina, well, I gotta tell you, you're at the right video, because today Ted Thomas, the Tax Lien Certificates and Tax Deed Authority, will be answering your questions and guiding you through the process of investing in South Carolina through the Charleston County tax sale. I've got a question from Lien, and he's on YouTube, Ted, and he wants to know, he says, look, I live in Charleston County, South Carolina, and do they sell tax certificates or tax deeds in my county? And what time of year does the auction take place?
Okay, well, the county sells tax lien certificates, and they usually do that in the fall, November, December, so figure October, November, December. However, you always want to confirm that by going to the county records and make sure they have a list, get a list there. They'll also publish it in the newspaper.
I've got a question from Facebook. Cleo wants to know, what's the highest interest rate I can earn in Charleston County, South Carolina?
All the counties pay the same throughout Carolina. There's 46 different counties. They all pay up to 12%. Now, let me tell you how they pay it. So if a certificate stayed outstanding for 3 months, then you would get 3%. And then if it stayed out 6 months, then you're going to get 6%. So the total that you can make in those counties, or any county in South Carolina, is 12%.
Instagram, Carolyn wants to know, after you purchase the tax lien in Charleston County, how long until you can start the foreclosure process?
Okay, so we're already talking about foreclosure. So, folks, everything that I get from information, you can get from information. So you can go to the county records. One place you definitely want to go is to the Charleston County property records. You can do that online and get a lot of information, much more than I'll even give you on the video. All right, so what's going to happen with foreclosure? The state of South Carolina is unusual. It's so unusual that it really makes this process simple. So if you buy a tax lien certificate, it always goes to the highest bidder. And if the people don't pay the tax certificate, you're going to end up owning the property. That's it. They don't even go through the foreclosure. They're going to send it right to you.
Oh, wow. Anyways, I've got one from YouTube. Gavin wants to know, can you explain the bidding method for this year's upcoming auction in Charleston County?
All right, so the bidding process in South Carolina is on tax lien certificates. Generally speaking, on tax lien certificates, most states like Florida, Arizona, and so on, it's a bid down process. Lowest bidder gets it. So your question is a good question. In South Carolina, they do what they want to do. In South Carolina, it's a bid up process, and the highest bidder wins. So there you go. So that was a good question to ask.
Cooper wants to know, if I participated in this year's auction in Charleston County, what would be the first steps that I would need to take?
Let me name out 3 different things that you should do before you even dream about going to the auction. First of all, depending on what auction you're going to, so let's say it's Charleston County. All right, go to the county property records, Charleston County property record. There's a place to do a lot of research. That could be followed by go to the Charleston County tax collector or tax assessor site. Now, sometimes the tax collector and tax assessor are in the same office, but you'll get the idea. Go there and get all their records. There's going to be a lot of records, and they'll give you a lot of insight into buying at auction, selling after the auction, and so on. All right, final place you want to go and look is the county delinquent tax records, okay? So what would that be? A delinquent tax sale. All of those things, which I've just given you, are all good places to do research.
Which brings up Doris' question. She's asking, what happens to the tax lien certificates that don't sell at the auction?
Okay, well, this is unusual, so it's a good question to ask. If the certificate doesn't sell at the auction, the county is going to move it on to what they call a forfeited lands list, means it's a different list, and then they're going to have what they call a silent auction. That means you'll have to make a bid out, a written bid, and send your bid in to get that tax lien certificate. All right, now, I'm not going to go through all the steps of what you have to write out and all that. But what you could do is you could go to the Charleston County tax records, or you could go to the property records. Any one of those sites, go there and look, and they'll give you more detailed information.
Haley says, well, okay, Ted, well, how can I stay informed about upcoming Charleston tax sales?
Piece of cake. It's always going to be at the county records, or you can go to the county property records, or you can go to the delinquent tax sale. You can go to all those records. They're going to be there. None of this information is hidden. It's all public records, been available for hundreds of years.
Wow. You know, Ted, it would be really nice to have a calendar with all these auctions, when they're happening, where they're happening, etc. I know you have something like that, Ted. Why don't you share that info with the folks?
One of the things that people have to realize is this is a business of abundance. In other words, there's a lot of counties, there's a lot of tax lien certificates in the millions, and there's a lot of tax defaulted property. So to try and research that, you can always go to a county. What the county will do, they'll print it on their site, and they'll have it printed in the local newspaper. All right, that takes care of all the law. All right, now if you're going to research 3,000 counties, can you imagine you're either researching the county, going there, or you're going to have to do something about getting the newspaper? You wouldn't want to get 3,000 newspapers. So what I've done is I've condensed all that information electronically, and you can go, and it's right below me, you'll see a demonstration of it. You can go with your cursor and your computer. You can sit down with your mouse, move your cursor around, go state to state, county to county. And the state will tell you how many auctions are coming up, when they're coming up. It will tell you how many properties are available. And you can even learn how to get into the county records through that. So that's all right below me. It's absolutely free. Take a look.
That's awesome, Ted. Thanks so much for answering all these questions from all your social media platforms. Folks, go ahead, click on like and subscribe, and ask questions in the comments section below. Ted will be more than happy to address all your questions. And don't forget, click on the link in the description to receive that calendar that Ted was speaking of. We hope you liked what you saw, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.